The Nintendo Switch 2 has been with us for 1 month. I have had one in my possession for 1 month. And back with the original Switch, I did like a 1-month update kind of thing, and that was fun. So I thought I would do it again. Complete honesty here. Absolute honesty here at the start of the video. There's really not that much to say. You know, like it's like, I think, well, okay, it's funny because before the Switch 2 came out, I'm like, oh, like now I have Topic Arlo. Now I can just do casual videos whenever I want. I could do as many updates as I want. I could do one every couple of days. I could do it by the week or something like that. But then like I arrived here and clearly that's not been happening. Clearly this is really the first real update. And a big part of that is probably just because this experience is not as novel as it once was. With the original Switch, it was such a new thing. It was such a dramatically new thing that it was way more interesting to kind of track the day-to-day experiences of it. It's a Switch. It's a Switch a little bit bigger. So there's not really that much to say. But then also, like, obviously, there's just not that much to play. Mario Kart World has not turned out to be the game that I was hoping. I mean, like, with the original Switch, Breath of the Wild, that's a game that'll keep you busy just for hundreds of hours, just running around, fighting and looking for Koroks or whatever. Was definitely hoping that Mario Kart World would kind of mirror that experience, give me a reason to just like keep picking it up. It hasn't exactly, so that is one reason I haven't played handheld like an absolute ton, or even just overall, even on the TV, I haven't done it an absolute ton. But I will say that I have a good bit, and even if Mario Kart World hasn't ended up being the game that I was hoping, where there's just like so much content, you can always dive back in. That whole discussion for another day. Obviously, reviews coming along well. You know what I did? I finished recording like the main body, like there'll be like an intro and an outro. That's a separate thing. But then like the part where I'm talking about the game, I finished recording it today. Kane's working on the review, coming along real well. Hopefully come out this month. Anyway though, but even if Mario Kart World is not exactly that game, it has been a game that's very, very easy to just pick up. Free roam, it still is something that I really enjoy doing and I can do for just a couple minutes. And it has been really nice to have my Switch 2 on my desk, just like the good old days. Like, it's been a really long time since I've just like kept my Switch near me so that whenever I have a spare minute, I can just like pop it on and play something. That was a really, really big thing, especially in the early days, especially with like Breath of the Wild. And I haven't done that in probably years. I've played almost exclusively on the TV. So it's nice to have that again. It's nice to just kind of have it hanging around. I get a spare minute and I just pop it on and just mess around in free roam. It's just fun. The gameplay is that fun. The world is that nice to be in. And the graphics are pretty and the visuals are really nice. So that's good. In fact, just today, just like 30 minutes ago or something, I was waiting on something and I grabbed for it and I was gonna turn it on, but it was dead. So I had to put it in the dock. But like, there you go. I'm doing it. It's got me playing handheld a little bit again. Not like an absolute ton, but an okay, some, And when I do play handheld, it really is very comfy to hold. Like I am still really like there is a real novelty to how much bigger the thing is, how much just bigger and clear. Like the screen is just nice and big, and yeah, the way the Joy-Cons fit in the hands, they're the same thickness, so I'm sure that if I do it long enough, there'll be some cramping, but I really just feel like the overall comfort and ease of holding them in my hands, it feels like it makes a really big difference to my overall hand comfort when playing handheld. And I will say, I know I already made this joke in the hardware review, but it's not even a joke. It's just real. I can't stop playing with the Joy-Cons. I can't stop. It's genuinely the biggest selling point for me right now. It's so satisfying to take them off and on. I can't stop. It's like I can't even touch the thing. That's the thing. I have a minute. I'll pick up my Switch 2 and play a little Mario Kart after I pop the Joy-Cons on and off a couple of times, or like, oh no, I left it in the grip. I better take those off, pop, and I better shagunk, put them back on there. Maybe I'll do it back and forth a couple times just to make sure. It's like the funnest fidget toy. It's so satisfying. But anyway, yeah, so back to the actual playing it. This is another thing that I already did mention in my hardware review, and I don't want to talk about it too much more here because I think I might do a full video on it. The display issue. It is still an issue. It is still a thing, and my opinion overall hasn't really changed since the hardware review. It's still not that big of an issue for me, and when I play for a bit, I kind of get used to it. Ultimately, it's not a really big deal, but it is still very present. It is still very much a thing, and if I think about it for too long, it does start to get a little bit frustrating. It should look better than this. It is frustrating that Nintendo would cheap out so hard on the display when that's like, you know, the thing that displays the game. It's kind of important. So yeah, I don't know. I'm considering doing a whole video on that. I might do that soon, just because it's an interesting thing to discuss at the very least. What else? Boy, that eShop. Boy, that eShop. It really is a dream, isn't it? I haven't gone on too many times. I usually go on just to like check the sales or whatever. It is still, every time, I am amazed anew each time I go on there. It is still, that's a novelty. That shouldn't be a novelty. That shouldn't have been such a big deal on the Switch, that this is like, wow, next gen, I can go on the shop and things will load. You know, like it's silly that it makes so much of a difference. And at the same time, it makes a really big difference. So that's really been nice. Has nothing to do with playing the video games, but it's still important to me. And what else? So yeah, like I said, there's really not a lot to play. I played some Welcome Tour for a bit to like do the review. I'm kind of done there. And Mario Kart, yeah, I pop in every once in a while. I don't play for like long sessions or anything, but you know, it's fun. I guess another thing I've been doing is playing Switch 1 games. I feel really bad. I'm very late. That was one of the first things I wanted to do when the Switch 2 came out, was do all of my impressions videos for all the Switch 1 games that got updates. And yeah, I'm pretty behind on that. I'll probably still do it. It's still fun. It's still an enjoyable activity for me to partake in. And I will say that if I want to speak kind of broadly there, I'm really happy with all of these games and their updates. Like I haven't tried every single one yet. I'm still kind of, I guess I'm saving Zelda and Pokemon, well, 3D Zelda and Pokemon for last, because those were the games that like could use it the most, you know, in the case of Pokemon, because it was awful. And then with Zelda, it was just, you know, a very taxing game, and I'm very excited to try those out. But I've tried a lot of the other ones, and, you know, videos incoming. But overall, I'm just very pleased. They're all great. So far, they're all really, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It was always clear that these games were very pretty. They looked really good. So they would just be better running, higher resolution, higher frame rate and all that stuff. And it's true. So far, it's everything I could have wanted, you know, playing Mario Odyssey. But everything just looks sharp and clean. Playing Link's Awakening, I already did the video on that, except everything is really sharp and clean, and the frame rate is like perfect. It's awesome, and it's really got me excited about the idea of Nintendo giving us more updates for old games, which I'm, you know, we're even more sure than ever that is going to happen. It's not just going to be one bunch, because we've already gotten another. You know, Splatoon 3 was not on that original list of upgrades, but then they just kind of randomly did it and announced a new game. So like, there you go. I'm sure more will come in the future, and I am more excited than ever for some of these, because like, it's just great. They're old games, but they come alive again. You know, they barely even feel like old games, because they still just look so incredible. Scaled up so high, running so nicely. So that's really been a joy, you know. I've enjoyed playing Mario Kart and all that, but even just playing Switch 1 games, it's got me wanting to revisit some of these games and like replay them. You know, I'm playing Link's Awakening and just remembering how great that game is. And so now it looks so good, I kind of want to play it again. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've got to say about my experience playing my Nintendo Switch 2 for the first month. There is something to mention, or a couple things to mention. It's less about my own experience, more about the greater conversation. But there are some issues that have been cropping up for early adopters, and I have not seen really big stories on these, which probably means they can't be that common of a problem, because even a small problem can seem very, very big when it gets picked up by the news and everyone's sharing it around. So if it hasn't already started a big ol' stink, maybe they're not big deals. But there have been some stories going around of units overheating. Mainly these are coming from Japan, and I don't know if that means it has something to do with the manufacturing process for the Japanese version, or some people are pointing out they're having a heat wave right now. I don't know, it's summer here too, so yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's a relatively rare thing so far. Most people don't seem to be having problems, but it is at least worth mentioning and keeping an eye on. I have not had any overheating issues pretty much whatsoever, even when I was like playing Mario Kart. I mean, maybe there are other games that are more graphically intensive, maybe if I was playing Cyberpunk or something, but so far it doesn't seem to get too hot, but I don't know. If that changes, I'll let you know. And then the other issue is really something I've not seen a lot at all, but I have a friend who says that his Switch 2 will sometimes just randomly like disconnect from the TV. Like maybe it's a problem with the HDMI port or something, like it'll just like shut off for a couple seconds. The screen will just go black and then it'll come back on. And he says that he knows other people who have had this happen as well. So that's really surprising, because like, yeah, I haven't really heard about it a lot online. If it was a really widespread problem, I feel like we might hear about it more, so it could just be kind of a coincidence. It could be that it's a relatively small amount of people, or it could be that plenty of reports are out there and I've just not been looking for them, and it hasn't hit like the big news media or something. So that's a really big thing. If any of you listening to this have had that problem, I mean, either problem or any problem really, sure, use the comment section of this video to air any grievances, any like weird random hardware issues you might be having. I am genuinely curious to see if this stuff, the blanking screen in particular, really curious to see if this is happening to any of you. So yeah, please let us know. Well, that's it for my 1 month impressions. Again, not really a whole lot to say, not really a whole lot to play, but Donkey Kong comes out in like a week at the time of this recording. Yeah, it's the 10th right now as I record this. It comes on the 17th. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have some stuff to play. That's when, this has been the warm up. That's when the show really starts, when I get DK. That's when I'm going to be putting my Switch 2 through its paces. So, I don't know, maybe we'll have a 2-month update. I don't know. But I am very, very excited to have something real meaty to sink my teeth into next week. Ooh, it's going to be good.